This next community leaked people's private lives for fun. The Fappening. This wasn't just a
The Fappening? What kind of stuff is Reddit allowing? It's like The Conjuring or like The Purge, but it's about fapping. Like, how does that? Instead of hearing like the sirens, like the Purge sirens, you're gonna hear like Dreamy Bull. What's up, guys? The Anti-Hero here, and today we're gonna check out another video called The Most Disturbing Reddit Communities. Now, I've heard some crazy ones. I've never seen any, but I'm sure probably ones like incest, some other weird stuff on some probably Dahmer level crap. I've heard a lot, but I've never seen it, and I don't think I want to see it. But I'm kind of curious to see what we're talking about. So, like, comment, sub, join the Discord, follow the IG, and let's get right into it. We're gonna cut right into it.
Reddit, you are disgusting. The CEO, the officers, everybody who's in this company is 100% liable for everything that's happening.
The explicit stated purpose of the subreddit is to damage a person's reputation, to collectively attack them.
Just beneath the surface of Reddit, you can find some really horrible stuff.
Reddit was built on free speech, but some people turn that freedom into something dark. Today we'll explore the most disturbing communities on Reddit. We'll start with the weird ones and work our way to those that are absolutely disgusting. So as you guys can probably hear, I am sick right now, but I'm still making these videos for you guys. I am really trying my best to not miss a weekly upload, but we are getting pretty close. So it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I promise to do my best to be as consistent as I possibly can. I'm Visual Adventure, and you are awesome. Anti-Work.
Hope you feel better.
In 2013, a strange community appeared on Reddit. It was called Anti-Work, but Anti-Work wasn't your average discussion board. It was a place for people who hated the idea of having a job. They thought it was wrong that people needed to work just to afford basic needs. Anti-Work's tagline made their message clear: unemployment for all, not just the rich.
What?
They invited anyone who wanted to end work or enjoy a work-free life to join. It was an active group. Members shared stories about bad bosses, burnout, and how work ruined their lives. One post read, "Why do we have to work on a planet none of us asked to live on?" Another said, "I don't need a job and I feel great. There's nothing good that having a job would do for me." They even recommended books that supported their beliefs. Their favorite titles were The Abolition of Work and In Praise of Idleness. For years, Anti-Work was a strange, small community. It had a few thousand users.
But it's kind of why we're created in the first place. I mean, you work to build those muscles, you work to get what you want. I mean, even if you're not signed up to a job, you're still working to do something, regardless if you just, I mean, hell, I'm working to breathe just by, like, I'm working to breathe just by sitting here. Like, hey, you, like, comment, subscribe, follow the IG, join the Discord. Do it now, please. Love you.
Then the pandemic hit, and suddenly Anti-Work didn't sound so crazy anymore.
That's
the pandemic
why.
sent the world into lockdown. Millions lost their jobs. Others were stuck in miserable jobs for low pay. For the first time, people everywhere began to question what work actually meant. And when they searched online for answers, they found Anti-Work. Within a year, the subreddit grew to 1.7 million members.
Damn.
But the new members weren't like the originals. They had different views on what it meant to be anti-work. The early members believed work itself was wrong. The newcomers just wanted better working conditions, like fair pay, reasonable hours, and basic respect from bosses. Now, two ideas were sharing the same space, and it created a lot of arguments.
There was a lot of infighting amongst these groups, but even worse than that, the fringe minorities of these started to become representative.
That tension was building, and it was about to explode in front of millions. In late 2021, Fox News heard about the Anti-Work subreddit. They wanted someone from the group to appear on national television to explain what it was all about. Almost all the moderators voted to decline the offer, but one person insisted on doing the interview anyway. Her name was Doreen Ford. Doreen was Anti-Work's lead moderator. She was also one of Anti-Work's original members. She helped build the community from the ground up, and despite everyone's warnings, she insisted on doing the interview. In January 2022, Doreen appeared on Fox News. She was representing over 1 million Anti-Work members, and things went wrong almost immediately. Doreen looked uneasy. She kept glancing away from the camera. Then the host asked a straightforward question.
Doreen, why do you like the idea of being home, not working, but still getting paid?
Doreen tried to explain her philosophy, but halfway through, she said something that ignited a firestorm.
So I think laziness is a virtue in a society where people constantly want you to be productive 24/7.
Laziness is a virtue. That statement was very controversial. The host didn't argue. He just smiled and moved on. He asked Doreen what she wanted to do with her life. She answered,
I would love to teach work with people and stuff like that.
What would you teach, Doreen?
Philosophy mostly.
Not long after, the segment ended, and within hours, the Anti-Work subreddit descended into chaos. So remember those two groups inside Anti-Work? One side wanted to abolish jobs completely. The other side just wanted fair pay and better treatment. Well, both sides were mad at Doreen, but for very different reasons. New members were mad because Doreen called laziness a virtue on national television. They didn't want to be portrayed as lazy freeloaders. They just wanted better working conditions. One member wrote, "That interview was so embarrassing. It made me go back to work." Another said his mother asked if he was part of the lazy movement that was on the news the other day. The original members were angry for another reason. In the interview, Doreen mentioned that she wanted to be a teacher. Well, teaching is obviously a job, and working a job went against everything they believed in. Soon, both sides—
Like, you want to be a teacher? Oh, so you ain't like us. They not like us. Get your ass out of here. The second you mentioned teacher, oh, you ain't like us. You was hiding this the whole time. Booted. You out the community. Gone.
agreed on one thing. Doreen ruined the reputation. The anger spread fast. It started with a few harsh comments, then it escalated. Members demanded that Doreen step down as moderator. The other moderators thought that was extreme. Doreen messed up, but they still supported her. Other members refused to stop criticizing her. So the moderators banned some users who spoke out against Doreen. But even the bans didn't stop the backlash. So the moderators made a drastic decision. They locked the Anti-Work subreddit. No one could post or comment, but silence didn't stop the chaos. It just pushed it somewhere darker. Angry members went after Doreen personally. They dug into her past. Before long, someone found old social media posts where Doreen admitted to inappropriate behavior and harassment. To humiliate her, they shared those screenshots all over Reddit. A few days later, the moderators reopened Anti-Work. They released a statement addressing the accusations against Doreen. It said, "We don't know enough to feel comfortable about making a statement. The individual in question has been removed from the moderation team." Doreen was gone, but removing her didn't bring peace. Thousands of members were disgusted by how everything played out. They quit the group entirely. Those who stayed stopped posting. The community that once had millions of active members was now a ghost town. Today, Anti-Work still exists, but it's a shadow of what it once was. Now, I don't agree with anything that Doreen did, but here's what's scary. How fast people found her private information. They pulled up old posts, accounts, and personal details just like that. That's because data brokers make it incredibly easy. A few years ago, someone did the same to me. They found my personal information and threatened me with it. I tried removing my information from every website I could, but there was just too many. These sketchy websites are selling your data to anyone willing to pay, and it's completely
Is this about to be a sponsor?
legal, which is insane to me. But if you ask them to remove your data, they're also required by law to take it down. That's where today's sponsor, Aura, comes.
Yep, they'll be sponsor though, but I think I'll be fine. Not totally sure, but hey, we'll figure it out.
Fat people hate.
Whoa.
I'm going to be referring to this group as FPH. FPH was a subreddit
Also, I might not react to all of them because there's a lot and this video is pretty long.
with one purpose: to mock overweight people. That was the entire point. One of the rules even said absolutely no fat sympathy.
Why?
Members didn't wait for content to find them. They went hunting for it. Here's how it worked.
The members would scour social media in particular, looking for images of overweight people doing things in compromising situations or looking funny that they would all then post and sort of get together and mock.
They dug through fitness posts, sewing threads, and mental health spaces. No corner of Reddit was off limits. Once they found a photo, they took it without permission and posted it to FPH. Then they wrote negative captions about the overweight stranger in the photo. Every post was a contest to see who could write the meanest comment. The more vicious the insult, the more upvotes it got. Eventually, FPH grew to 150,000 members. It became a feeding frenzy of insults. But that raised a serious question. Why did Reddit ever allow something like this to exist? Reddit had a philosophy: free speech above almost everything else.
That's not free speech. You can have free speech, but you don't slander. That is not free speech. What are y'all talking about? I mean, you can say it, but it's gonna have consequences, and that's not really considered free speech. Like, that's what?
The company believed users should decide what to see, not administrators. That policy made Reddit hesitant to ban questionable subreddits. But FPH wasn't just exercising free speech. They were going out of their way to humiliate people. Ironically, FPH members were happy to mock others, but they couldn't handle any criticism. For instance, one day some of their mean-spirited posts were reposted to a site called Imgur. Unlike Reddit, Imgur had strict rules. So when Imgur employees saw the inappropriate photos, they deleted them immediately. FPH took that as an attack. They claimed Imgur was censoring them and they decided to fight back. Members dug up photos of injured employees and posted them on FPH. Then, as a group, they mocked the staff's bodies and looks. This wasn't trolling anymore, it was targeted harassment, and Reddit could no longer ignore it. On June 10th, 2015, Reddit...
What if they only targeting them because they themselves are also fat and they hate themselves, so they hate other people who are also fat? Meanwhile, they look the same way, if not worse, and they probably like one of those stereotypical Discord mods and Reddit mod. I'm telling you.
And 5 subreddits. FPH was at the top of the list.
Reddit has banned a bunch of their subreddit communities, including r/fatpeoplehate.
For Reddit, the ban was long overdue, but for FPH members, it was a betrayal of Reddit's free speech roots. To protest the ban, FPH members created dozens of copycat subreddits. Each sounded very similar to FPH. Reddit banned them as fast as they appeared. But the angry users weren't done yet. They focused their rage on a single target, Ellen Pao, Reddit CEO. They plastered her photos across the site with inappropriate captions. A petition demanding her resignation gained over 200,000 signatures. Reddit refused to reverse the ban, so FPH members packed up and left the site entirely. They migrated to a platform called Vote. It was a Reddit clone with almost no rules. Within days, Vote's version of FPH reached 38,000 subscribers. Their negative content had a new home. But on Reddit, FPH was gone for good. This next community turned dating into something.
Why did they get a good ending? That make no sense.
Effelism.
What?
Effelism was a subreddit with about 9,000 members. They all shared one disturbing desire. They wanted all life on Earth to end permanently. The group's name was a reflection of this belief. Effelism is actually the word life spelled backwards. Members believed the world would be better if nothing existed. No people, no animals, no pain. Inside the subreddit, they spent hours debating how to stop people from bringing more life into the world.
So we got a subreddit full of Majin Boos. Just want to destroy everything. Remember the episode where he killed everybody and then he went to heaven to kill them again? Yo, that's the kind of crap they own. They don't want to see no life. They don't want to see no afterlife. They don't want to see you burning. They don't want to see nothing.
Most of them only talked, but one member decided to act. His name was Guy Bartkus. Guy was 25, and he was deeply involved in the Effelist community. He believed parents were selfish for having kids. To him, fertility clinics were a big part of that evil because they helped people start families. In one of his posts, he wrote, "I'm very against IVF. It's extremely wrong. These are people who are having kids after they've sat there and thought about it."
Yes.
To outsiders, those words sounded unhinged, but inside Effelism, they were normal. One day, Guy decided to show how much he despised fertility clinics. On May 17th,
It's not like me having kids is stopping you from having kids. Hey babe, you want to have kids? Sure. Oh, see, you're selfish. Like, how am I selfish? We decided on this together. Like, what?
2025, Guy drove to a fertility clinic in Palm Springs. Then he set up a camera on a tripod. He planned to live stream what was about to happen. Within minutes, there was chaos.
We heard this loud noise. I shook all of our building.
It was a big bang.
Guy didn't survive. 4 others were injured. When police arrived, they found Guy's camera still recording. It didn't take long to figure out what happened. The FBI took over the case. When they searched Guy's home, they found a website he created. On it was a 30-minute recording explaining his motive. Guy said, basically, it just comes down to, I'm angry that I exist and that nobody got my consent to bring me here. The FBI kept digging, trying to determine if Guy acted alone. Eventually, they discovered he hadn't. There was an accomplice on the loose. The accomplice was Daniel Park. For years, Park secretly helped Guy gather materials to carry out his plan.
Mr. Park, who shares Barkus's extremist beliefs, is accused of shipping approximately 180 pounds of ammonium nitrate.
After the fertility clinic incident, Park fled the US and escaped to Poland, but he didn't get far. 2 weeks later, authorities arrested him at an airport. He was extradited to the US and jailed. But then the case was front page news. Reporters connected the Effelism subreddit to the Palm Springs tragedy. Media outlets slammed Reddit for allowing such a dangerous community to exist. Eventually, Reddit gave in and banned the subreddit, but the Effelism members didn't go quietly. They argued the ban was unfair because Effelism wasn't violent, but Reddit refused to reverse the ban, so they created a new subreddit called Effelism 2. Its description said it was just an alternative to the ban page. This next community leaked people's private lives for fun. The Fappening. This wasn't just a
The what? The fappening? What kind of stuff is Reddit allowing? It's like The Conjuring or like The Purge, but it's about fapping. Like, how does that? Instead of hearing like the sirens, like the purge sirens, you're gonna hear like Dreamy Bull. That's what you're gonna hear on the sirens playing down the street in Apocalypse.
Another subreddit. It was the largest hub for stolen celebrity photos. It all began with a massive cyber attack in August 2014. Hackers broke into the iCloud accounts of more than 100 celebrities, almost all women. Once they got in, they downloaded hundreds of inappropriate private pictures and videos.
From Jennifer Lawrence to Kate Upton, it is what could be the largest breach of private, racy celebrity photos in history.
At first, the leaked photos were posted to 4chan. Then a Reddit user saw an opportunity. He created a subreddit specifically for people who wanted to view them all in one place. He called it The Fappening. Within hours, 50,000 people joined. Members treated the leaked photos like entertainment. They celebrated the invasion of privacy as if it were a game. For the women involved, it was horrifying, especially when they discovered that a subreddit was created just to view their photos, and these women hated it.
It's a total violation.
The victims put massive pressure on Reddit to act. So Reddit issued warnings. Anyone reposting those images would be permanently banned. Then on September 7, 2014, Reddit shut down the Fappening page. The official reason was copyright violation. The subreddit existed for barely a week, but it was too late. The photos had already been downloaded and saved by thousands. Eventually, the FBI launched an official investigation. Between 2016 and 2018, several hackers were arrested and convicted. Justice was served, but it came too late for the victims, because once something leaks online, it never truly disappears.
Yep.
This next group celebrated stupidity until it went too far. Darwin Awards.
Oh, I heard about that.
Darwin Awards turned a tragedy into entertainment. The subreddit was built around one
He has his own channel too.
dark idea, laughing at people who lost their lives doing something incredibly stupid. But that twisted sense of humor didn't start on Reddit. It began decades earlier. Long before Reddit, there were early internet chat rooms. People would gather to share strange news stories, especially about people who lost their lives in reckless ways. The accidents were so absurd they almost didn't sound real. Then in 1993, someone took those stories and built a website around them. She called it the Darwin Awards after the scientist Charles Darwin. But why Darwin? Darwin's theory of evolution is based on natural selection. It's the idea that only the fittest survive to pass on their genes. Darwin Awards flipped that concept into dark comedy. If someone lost their life because of their own stupidity, the joke was that they were selecting themselves out of the gene pool. Their stupidity couldn't be passed down. The people who passed away won a Darwin Award for their stupidity. It was an insult disguised as a joke. The stories on the website were written with a comedic twist. One Darwin Award winner in 1993 was a lawyer. He tried to prove a skyscraper window was unbreakable. He ran straight into it.
Yeah, let me guess. He ran straight into it and he fell down like 30 stories right on the ground, like splat. I think that's what happened.
To show off. The glass held, but the frame didn't. He fell out of the building and didn't survive. Another story involved two men leaning out of a moving bus for fun. Neither made it back in. These weren't made up stories. They were about real people with real families. And yet the internet turned their final moments into comedy. By the 2000s, the Darwin Awards website had millions of visitors. It even inspired a movie. And eventually that dark humor found a home on Reddit. The Darwin Awards subreddit revived the old idea for a new generation. Their description read, "Population control volunteers. The tree of life is self-pruning." Members shared videos and articles about people passing away from avoidable mistakes. But over time, some of them began to feel bad about making fun of people's tragedies. One finally called it out. They wrote, "The concept of Darwin Awards is evil. Imagine you fell to your death. Then people started insulting you while your family was grieving." Another said they used to find it funny when they were younger, but not anymore. They wrote, "Now I see life as precious. These were just people who were unlucky." And they ended with one haunting reminder. Imagine if your close relative got featured there. The Darwin Awards subreddit is still active, and they're still making fun of other people's tragedies. This next community isn't for the faint-hearted. It showed people things they couldn't unsee. iBletch.
What?
Reddit had a popular page called iBleach. It was a community for sharing beautiful, happy, or adorable content.
Okay.
Millions visited it regularly. It was filled with cute animal videos and cheerful content. Then someone created a nearly identical page with one tiny change. They removed a single letter, A. The new subreddit was called iBletch, and it was the evil twin of the original. The original iBleach showed puppies
Don't tell me they show like animals getting killed or something like that. That would be insane. I hope not.
and kittens, but iBletch showed real viral videos of gore, injury, and disaster. And these were real videos of real people.
I know
But
it.
why was it called iBletch? It was designed to trick people. The people who made iBletch admitted that they wanted to trick users trying to find the cute animal page. Their plan worked. Thousands clicked on iBletch thinking it was iBleach. Instead of puppies, they were greeted with horrifying videos. Sometimes people didn't even realize they were on the wrong page. One person said they kept watching thinking iBleach had a super dark side. Someone eventually had to tell them they were on a completely different page. But not everyone got there by accident. Many visited iBletch because they wanted to see the disturbing content. They said watching gore videos reminded them how fragile life is. Others claimed gore videos made them more careful in their daily lives. But for countless others, the effects were negative. In 2021, a boy posted on Reddit begging for advice. He wrote, "I went on iBletch because I was curious, but now I can't get those things out of my head." The images kept replaying in his mind. Someone replied saying the boy was showing signs of traumatic stress. The boy wanted to tell his parents, but he was scared they'd take his phone away. But he wasn't the only one experiencing these issues. Someone said,
I'm sure he'd be fine. There's no way he'd get in trouble for looking up something that he thought was something good. Imagine your parents see your phone. What you looking at? Why you looking at these messed up animals all dead and stuff? It's like, Mom, I didn't know it. They go to your room. I don't want to hear it. Like, like that wouldn't make sense. Come on, man. The kid didn't know.
they threw up after watching a video on iBletch. Another said they accidentally found the page months ago and still hadn't recovered. More people came forward with similar stories. They begged Reddit to take action, but Reddit didn't do anything. The page stayed online. By early 2023, people were furious. Their problem was that iBletch tricked them into watching inappropriate videos. They created petitions demanding the company ban iBletch. Thousands of people signed. Eventually, Reddit had no choice but to respond. In April 2023, Reddit gave the iBletch moderators an ultimatum. They had 4 months to clean up the community. That meant removing the worst content.
4
If
months?
they didn't, Reddit would ban the page permanently. The moderators barely made an
I'm surprised they gave y'all 4 months.
effort. They deleted a few posts, but most of the gore stayed. They didn't think Reddit would actually follow through. They were wrong. In September 2023, Reddit banned iBletch for violating the moderator code of conduct. The page that traumatized thousands was finally gone. Today, if you try to visit it, all you see is one sentence: iBletch has been banned from Reddit. My friends, spending too much time in toxic places changes you, and the negativity doesn't just disappear when you log off. So be intentional about what you watch and where you spend your energy, because what you consume eventually consumes you. Visual Venture.
W video from Visual Adventure. Yo, Reddit got some issues. I mean, Reddit is just like 4chan, Reddit, all them websites are crazy. Like, they not so far from being live leak at this point. But I see like they're trying to clean up their mess. But overall, Reddit has just been like a decade or so just worth of just insane crap. Like, it's been insane over the years, man. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, join the Heroes Association, aka the Discord, in the comment section is pinned and in the link in the description. Also, follow the IG, link in the description as well. Keep it chill. I love y'all. Until next time, peace out.